In one corner, we have the USS Gerald R. Ford, a 13 billion, 100,000-ton marvel of nuclear-powered engineering. In the other, China's formidable new heavyweight contender, the Type 003 Fujian. Weighing in at about 80,000 tons, the Fujian may be conventionally powered, but it's packing tech so advanced it might just give the Ford a run for its money. Welcome to the naval showdown of the century, where laser beams meet microwave weapons and stealth fighters soar like wasps in a bar fight. Buckle up, because this isn't your grandpa's World War II carrier duel. This is cutting-edge power projection, 21st century style. Power play. Let's talk engines, shall we? The USS Ford is basically a floating nuclear power plant with two Bechtel A-1B reactors under its hood. These bad boys churn out 300 megawatts, enough to run a small city or a really intense LAN party. The Type 003 Fujian. It's conventionally powered, which is like showing up to a Formula One race with a high-end pickup. Admirable, but not quite the same league. While China's been tight-lipped about the Fujian specs, nuclear power gives Ford a huge advantage. It can tight-lipped about the Fujian specs. Nuclear power gives Ford a huge advantage. It can operate for over 2 decades without refueling, and with a top speed of over 30 knots, it can knock on anyone's door, anywhere on Earth. AI on the high seas. Forget R2-D2. The real tech wizards are on these ships. The USS Gerald Ford is practically self-aware, packed with AI-powered systems that handle everything from radar management to drone operations. With decades of naval AI development behind it, the Ford needs a smaller crew, around 4,500, than its older cousin, the Nimitz class, which needed over 6,000 sailors. The Fujian, on the other hand, is still a mystery box. China hasn't revealed much, but without the same depth of experience as the US Navy, it's unlikely to match Ford's level of intelligent automation. Translation: more room on Ford for weapons, systems, and even gymnasiums. Yes, war is hell, but you can still stay fit, apparently. Sensors and processing systems. Radar systems are the eyes of these giants, and in this battle, the USS Ford's peepers are sharper. Its AN/SPY-3 multifunction radar combines horizon search and volume search into one lean, mean tracking machine. It's like giving a hawk night vision goggles and teaching it Morse code. The Fujian brings its own A-game with the Dragon Type 346 radars and integrated power systems that boost processing speed. But here again, Ford edges ahead with better system integration, cleaner data streams, and sheer sensory firepower. Air wings of the future. What's a carrier without its flying circus? The Fujian is expected to launch the naval J-35 stealth fighter, a 5th-generation bird meant to compete with America's F-35 Lightning II. Also in the lineup could be the KJ-600, China's version of the E-2D Hawkeye early warning plane. However, the Ford doesn't just carry planes, it throws a full-on aviation rave. Up to 75 aircraft can be on deck at once, including the F-35, FA-18 Super Hornets, EA-18G Growlers, E-2D Hawkeyes, and various rotary drones and helos. And unlike some Chinese jets, these aren't inspired by American models. They are the originals. Launch like you mean it. Gone are the days of steam catapults sounding like a giant sneezing on deck. Both carriers now employ electromagnetic launch systems, EMALs, that hurl aircraft into the sky like supersonic frisbees. Ford has 4 EMALs launchers, while Fujian sports 3. Advantage: Ford. The US has a head start on EMALs experience and refinement, so it's safe to say America's launches are smoother, faster, and better supported. Arrested: flight development. Landing a fighter jet on a moving aircraft carrier deck isn't just tricky. It's basically trying to thread a needle while riding a roller coaster in a thunderstorm. It's hands down one of the most nerve-wracking maneuvers in all of aviation. Thankfully, both the USS Gerald R. Ford and China's Type 03 Fujian are equipped with advanced electromagnetic arresting gear systems designed to snag landing aircraft with precision and control. Think of it as an enormous mechanical baseball glove catching 30-ton jets flying in at 150 miles per hour, on a floating runway no less. But in this high-stakes game of airborne catch, Uncle Sam has the better glove. The Ford's Advanced Arresting Gear, AAG, is not only cutting edge, but also tested, refined, and battle-ready. China's system, while impressive on paper, is still fresh off the prototype line and has yet to prove itself in real-world ops. In other words, the Fujian's arrest system may work fine, but the Ford's has already logged hours with the best pilots on the planet. So if you're a fighter pilot choosing where to land, one option feels like a smooth valet service. The other, more like parallel parking in a wind tunnel. Lasers versus microwaves. The battlefield of the future is heating up. Literally. China is diving into the realm of microwave weapons, aiming to disable enemy electronics from miles away by frying circuits like leftover dumplings. These high-energy bursts act like mini EMPs with an attitude, potentially turning sophisticated war machines into floating paperweights without firing a single bullet. But while China is zapping ahead with microwaves, the US Navy has been quietly cooking up its own beam-based justice, lasers. Leading the charge is Helios, a high-energy laser developed by Lockheed Martin, capable of blasting threats out of the sky at 60 kilowatts, with upgrades pushing it to a blistering 150 kilowatts. Oh, and did we mention the Pentagon's aiming for a 1 megawatt laser? That's enough juice to melt steel mid-air. And thanks to the nuclear power aboard the USS Gerald R. Ford, these lasers can keep firing as long as there's daylight, or at least reactor power. Unlike traditional missiles, laser shots cost about as much as your morning coffee, making them deadly and budget-friendly. Whether it's drones, cruise missiles, or just showing off, the Ford is ready to light up the sky like it's 4th of July at sea. Just imagine a space-age death ray. Now park it on a 100,000-ton warship. Guns, missiles, and more. Sure, lasers might steal the headlines, but when push comes to shove, nothing beats the reliable roar of conventional firepower. The USS Gerald R. Ford doesn't just rely on sci-fi beams. It's equipped with a full suite of traditional weapons that pack a serious punch. The carrier is armed with 2 Mark 29 missile launchers and 2 Mark 49 launchers for rolling airframe missiles, RAMs, both capable of neutralizing aerial threats long before they become a real problem. For anything that slips through the cracks, 3 Phalanx close-in weapon systems, CIWS, stand ready to unleash a hailstorm of bullets designed to shred incoming missiles in their final approach. To bolster its short-range defense, the Ford also mounts 4 Mk-38 25mm autocannons and 4 M2.50 caliber machine guns, ideal for deterring smaller, fast-approaching threats like speedboats or low-flying drones. Altogether, these systems create a steel shield around the carrier, turning it into a floating fortress. As for the Fujian, China has kept most of its weapons under wraps. However, experts believe it likely carries a similar mix of missile launchers and CIWS-style defenses. Still, the Ford's nuclear power advantage allows it to support and sustain its entire arsenal far longer, making it not just powerful, but persistent. Who wins the high seas heavyweight title? Both ships are technological marvels, floating air bases designed to dominate the oceans. The Type 003 Fujian is a huge leap forward for China, a bold step into carrier warfare at a peer competitor level. But the USS Gerald R. Ford is simply in another league. With unmatched propulsion, better radar and AI systems, more experience with EMALs and arresting gear, a superior and larger air wing, and laser weapons that are finally showing real promise, Ford remains the most advanced aircraft carrier in human history. Of course, in warfare, paper specs don't always tell the full story. A future confrontation between these two giants would depend on countless variables: location, air cover, satellite intel, electronic warfare, and even luck. But if you're placing bets purely on tech and experience, if you found this clash of sea titans as thrilling as we did, make sure to hit that like button. And if you're into futuristic warfare, cutting-edge tech, and global power plays, don't just watch, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious, stay sharp.